It's 2007 and this is the Land Cruiser Cygnus. The 100 series Land Cruiser, a beautiful Land Cruiser and a miles ahead of the 80 series in terms of refinement. The second generation 100 series 2007, miles ahead of the first generation 1998 100 series. This is the Cygnus equivalent of the LX470 in the US market, and today we're finding out why this 2007 Land Cruiser Cygnus was worth $65,000 back in 2007, the equivalent of 9 million Kenyan shillings. Alright guys, so you join me as you usually do, another episode of the Perfect Overlander series, and I am in my Land Cruiser Cygnus. Now, a lot of new subscribers to the channel, so if you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel guys. You can expect all kinds of high quality automotive content here. I love filming and I love filming high quality content guys. I really do enjoy it, and so you can expect all the best of automotive content and especially Land Cruiser content. But today we are in the Cygnus once again, and I wanted to explain why this car was actually worth $65,000 back in 2007. So this is a luxury vehicle. It is not the sort of the normal Land Cruiser trims. You know, you have the normal Land Cruiser trims, then you have the VX trim, then you have the ZX trim. This is basically like a ZX. You know, the Land Cruiser 100 series, the way they named the Land Cruiser 100 series is the VX trim was actually one of the high spec ones, and then the Cygnus was basically like the LX470, you know, ultra luxury, and the Cygnus has a bunch of other components that make it differ from the usual Land Cruiser. So why was this vehicle worth $65,000 brand new? Well, because Toyota built it to compete with the Range Rover. Toyota built it to compete at the time. If you guys go back to 2007, you can check what Range Rover was coming out in 2007. I believe it was the L322, which was a very good vehicle. And the LX470 came out to revolutionize the American market. And you guys know with Toyota, anything that they do and send to the US market, the US market vehicles, they like to just make them more luxurious. So in the US market, you didn't get the Land Cruiser Cygnus, but you got the LX470, which was also worth $65,000 brand new. So Land Cruiser Cygnus was the JDM version, basically the Japanese version. The reason this vehicle was worth all that money, well, first of all, because it's a Land Cruiser. Because it's a Land Cruiser, you guys know it's built in a specific factory in Japan. And you guys have got to remember that the Land Cruiser nameplate is not like your Toyota Crown. The Land Cruiser nameplate is built in a specific factory. So we're talking about a different level of quality control with the Land Cruiser Cygnus, or with the Land Cruiser nameplate in general. And that's why I stick to Land Cruisers, and I just love my Land Cruisers, because you can feel like this has been made to a different level, a different standard, more checks, more quality control. So on top of it, on top of the price tag for the vehicle, you are paying for the build quality. You're paying for the fact that Toyota has put parts in this vehicle that are supposed to last 20 to 30 years. And you guys have got to remember that no manufacturer these days is building you a car and building you parts that they say will last that long. You know, this is basically just a very overbuilt vehicle because of that specific fact. So the Cygnus is a special vehicle, and basically like the LX470. Now what else comes with the price tag? First of all, you get a very nice appointment of materials. With the Cygnus, I've got to say guys, because I have driven pretty much all Land Cruisers. I have driven the LX570, so I know what Toyota and what Lexus have been putting out there in terms of quality. And I can definitely tell you that the Cygnus had that kind of old school quality, that old school ride quality, that old school kind of luxury. And I'm a sucker for old school luxury guys, because unfortunately new school or future luxury means more electrics. So I'm a sucker for these old vehicles, because this was at a time when Toyota had to build vehicles to actually showcase them in the market that our vehicles can last. You know, this was a time when Toyota was still building brand image and brand loyalty. And that's very important, guys, because that means this was a time of ultra high quality, ultra quality control. And you guys know that the Japanese are anyways all about Kaizen manufacturing practices. And Kaizen manufacturing practices is basically just continuous improvement. And that's why you see that if an earlier model Land Cruiser had a specific issue, you'll notice that by the later year models, that part number will already have been updated, and the original part number will have been updated to the part that lasts 25 to 30 years. So it's not an exact science, and Toyota doesn't always get it right. But part of the price tag was the fact that this is built in a specific factory for Land Cruisers, and you're getting the specific material appointments in the vehicle. Now, what are those material appointments? I'll tell you. It starts with my seat, as you can see, the wonderful kind of luxury lounge chair, as I like to refer to it. My lounge seat, basically. My living room on wheels. And this leather is different from the usual 100 series leather. Yeah, so the Cygnus leather is definitely different. You can smell it, and it's got different kind of wear and tear. You know, it's not as kind of hard like the normal Land Cruiser. This one is really, really supple, really nice leather, and you can see some of the bunched leather also on my door over here. And this door card with this bunched leather that you see, if you can see, you don't get that in the other Land Cruisers. So the normal Land Cruiser 100 series has the standard door cards and the standard interior with more basic leather seats that are more prone to tearing as opposed to the Cygnus. And I'll just put the normal Land Cruiser 100 series interior on the screen right now, and so you can get an idea of the differences in that. Now, moving on, this car commanded $65,000. Why? Well, we go to the underbody of this vehicle. We go to what makes this vehicle so strong, so sturdy, and basically able to take you anywhere. You guys got to remember, when you buy a vehicle like this, it's not like a saloon car. It's not like a Mercedes-Benz where you pay a certain price, but you know that this vehicle can't take you anywhere. It has its limitations. Not with this type of vehicle, and not with Land Cruisers, guys. And especially as well for you guys watching in the US, the Lexuses are the same, guys. The Lexus LXs are the same as the Land Cruisers underneath. Don't think those vehicles are any less capable. So you're paying for ruggedness. You're paying for the fact that you get the live axle in the rear. A live axle provides a lot of sturdiness and a lot of durability for off-road, a lot of wheel travel, a lot of flex, which allows you to move. What else are you paying for? We've got a fantastic independent front suspension in the front of this vehicle that provides, that kind of the nice ride quality of this vehicle. And that independent suspension is also very durable. It's driven by a CV axle in the front, and then we've got, fat control arms. So the vehicle is nice and sturdy in the front. So you're paying for that underbody, and then you're paying for the fact that you get the 2UZ FE engine. Now, apologies, the road was a bit rougher, but as you can see, I just went over it, not a care in the world. But you're then again paying for the mechanicals of this vehicle. So if we go to the mechanicals now, we start with the engine 2UZ FE. Some of you don't know the 2UZ FE. Well, it is one of the most reliable petrol engines ever produced by Toyota, guys. And I you don't say this lightly. This is an engine that has done 1 million miles in so many vehicles. Tundras, Land Cruiser 100 series. The 2UZ FE is not an engine to be messed with. It's a solid V8 block, just making about 235 horsepower. Totally not underpowered, but totally less power for a V8. And why does Toyota do that? Because they build in the durability. This engine is never stressed, guys. This engine is never under a lot of stress. And that has a part to play in the reliability in the long run. The fact that it is not pushing out too much horsepower. And yes, some people love to tune them and add the horsepower, but then you're basically reducing the reliability. Now, the benefits of this engine are the fact that it's so smooth. It really is quite smooth. You could balance a chai mug, as we like to call it here in Kenya. We drink our tea, it's called chai. You could balance a chai mug in the front of my engine and it would be absolutely fine. You know, the liquid wouldn't even be vibrating a lot, and that speaks a lot. You know, the only other engine you can say that about is like a Rolls-Royce V12, you know, that was in the Phantom. Very, very smooth engines, and that is a BMW engine. So yes, BMW do make some good engines, but this Cygnus 2U ZFE engine, this V8 is a very venerable and a very well-known V8 engine, and it does the job very, very well. So in case some of you didn't know about that, that's your lowdown on the engine in this vehicle and what you were getting. And this was the first time Toyota had put a V8 in the Land Cruiser, coming from the 80 series, and so it was a lot of excitement, and it sounds great, and I can just rev it for you right now. Just a short stretch of road, this thing just picks up and goes, you know, there's no stopping it. And the sound, clean revving petrol V8, you know, there's really nothing like it, guys. Of course you can put crazy exhaust and make your car sound ridiculously loud, but I actually love how it came from factory, you know, the kind of understated luxury. You know you got a V8 under the bonnet, but it's nice and silent. So what do you have coupled with your 2U ZFE engine, guys? Well, you've got, of course, the 5-speed transmission. Now, you guys know, coming from the 80 series, coming from my 80 series, it was the 4-speed A442F transmission, which was a very good transmission. It even featured in some of the 100 series. Apologies for a bit of the bumpy road here, but as I mentioned, I'm in a Land Cruiser, and so I'm just gonna fly through it. But you guys know that I had to do a rebuild on the 4-speed transmission, so the 4-speed is a bit weaker, you know, needs a bit more of TLC, a bit more babying. But the 5-speed transmission that was updated from Toyota is great. It adds on the fuel economy, guys, so makes the fuel economy just a bit better. But most importantly, that addition of a 5th gear just adds to the character and the overall ride of this vehicle. I think this vehicle should have come from the factory with 5 gears, minimum of 5 gears. You need 5 gears is what I would tell Toyota. You know, a minimum of 5 gears for anything, and I think these days we've understood that, and the 300 series goes all the way up to 10 gears to give an even smoother ride. So 5 gears is perfectly adequate here, guys. I don't at all know about the shifting of the vehicle. It's smooth, it's silent. You're not aware of the transmission at work. The transmission does its work subtly, quietly, nicely, lovely, and silently. So what else adds to the ride and the, you know, the sort of expensive price tag of this vehicle? Let me just go through a bit of water, as we have in Nairobi. Good old water. Everything has been kind of flooding, so I'm just gonna get through this. Right, so what else adds to that wonderful price tag of this vehicle? Well, first of all, coming to the interior, you got climate control in the front, up to the rear of the vehicle, up to the 3rd row, guys. So very luxurious vehicle, climate control up to the 3rd row. Apart from climate control, you've got a perfectly appointed interior here. Everything is kind of well laid out, buttons everywhere, you know, kind of just amazing. Tactile feeling, buttons everywhere. You're able to control your car with minimal issues, and that's what Toyota wanted with this vehicle. So perfectly appointed interior, and then of course with the Cygnus variant, with the LX470, you got those extra luxurious features like the telescopic steering wheel. You've got the sort of the rear windows at the back that open up, so you know you can vent your vehicle whenever you want. Fantastic interior that just keeps you so comfortable. And then of course, guys, I have to mention the suspension system. Of course, I don't want this video to be too long, but what else added to $65,000 of price tag? The first Land Cruiser AHC system. This is the hydraulic suspension system in this vehicle, guys. If you don't know about this system, I've just made a video on it. It's called Toyota AHC, and it's the 10th episode of the Perfect Overlander series. In fact, it's the episode before this one, so make sure you check that out. But the AHC system just adds an unbelievable character to this car, and I must say it adds that kind of luxurious character, because the AHC, the automatic height control, is what allows me to raise my vehicle if I want, lower my vehicle if I want, change from comfort all the way up to sport in 4 different levels which just firms up the suspension and softens the suspension, and it's a hydraulic system. So it's oil-based, it's reliable, it's not air suspension or any of that nonsense, so you don't have to worry about air struts. It's a very durable system, and we're going on 20-25 years of no issues. You know, you just have to replace struts and those kind of things. So $65,000 price tag, guys. It was for a variety of reasons, including the amazing paint job on this vehicle. We've got diamond white pearl on this vehicle, which is one of my favorite paint jobs, one of my favorite colors from Toyota. Diamond white pearl just is amazing. Of course, the roads in Nairobi are very rough, so you know, this car commands $65,000 because when you get in a Land Cruiser, none of this stuff matters to you. Even though the roads are being washed away, even though there's floods, even though everything is crazy outside, you know you can get in your Land Cruiser, and if you're a good driver, I'm not saying to do stupid things on the road, but if you're a good driver, you can get just about anywhere and get yourself back home in your Land Cruiser. And that's what you pay for, right? It's built in its own factory. You can go anywhere, and you feel like king of the hill. You feel like king of the road. So, you know, you can't say much more than that. So $65,000, a few of the reasons why it adds up to that price, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think. Join the MG family as we post videos every week, lots of informative content, and most of all, high quality. I love high quality content. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you in the next one. It's been MasaiGainz checking out.